Hello, and thank you, Cool Cats, for joining us today. APOB, I, your host, Morgan Christian, appreciate your entire faces. We want to spread love and inspiration, and we know you guys that listen feel the same way. My next guest is both of those things, and his climb up musical mountain of life can't be understated or wrapped up in not just one, but two podcasts. FYI, Sergio's been on before. He was our very first guest back in November of last year. So, Sergio, we truly are humbled, good sir. And if you get a chance, check out our first podcast with the dude. This guy's a musician, artist, creative, entrepreneur, wine connoisseur. The list goes on and on. The bottom line, Sergio's a good guy, and he's on his way up, and he's got more interesting stories and, of course, music. Sergio blessed us with original new music from his new song, Bed You Made, which is actually on the podcast itself, so look out for that later on. Guys, please come out and support Sergio if you're in the California area. Go to his newly minted sites. That's sites with an S. That's two. SergiosFineArt.com. to check out his amazing artwork, buy some, or contact him about a commission. And of course, his music site, SergioGutierrezmusic.com, where you can buy Bed You Made, as well as find where the maestro is playing next on his show calendar. Of course, you can find anything APOB is doing at Facebook.com/APOB Media. Our Twitter, APOB Media, and our Instagram is A Perch of Birds Media. And of course, our main haunt is aperchofbirds.com, where we have every possible way you could digest one of our scrumptious podcasts. Boys and girls, we did it. Enjoy this thing, and I know I did. Mr. Marcos Gomez, kick that mule. So I'm here with Mr. Sergio Gutierrez, Perch of Birds podcast. Welcome, sir. Thanks for coming on again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me again.
Again, right?
Stoked.
You were our very first episode, and we're coming up on, I think, 19 or 20, so it's been a bit of a journey for myself, and I know you've gone through a few different things here recently, so talk to me. What's new, man? What's going on with Sergio?
Oh, man. Honestly, the newest thing that's going on, I finally moved from North County, San Diego, into the downtown area. And that's been a huge change because now I'm just hanging around with a pool of really, just great artists, and just the opportunity is out of this world in the downtown area. You know, it's faster. There's a lot more people. There's a lot more venues. There's a lot more everything.
Sure. And when it comes to that area down there, is it mostly musicians or is it actors too? I mean, is it a good mix, or is there a lot of people pursuing music specifically?
Well, just I guess to answer that, it's whatever you focus on. You know, my focus is on the art and music side. I mean, if I was in the acting world, I would probably have a better answer. Right. But I don't know. I don't really run into too many actors, actually.
Right. Well, I think we talked about, like, in Los Angeles, you were saying there was a huge mix, but now that you're in San Diego, this is different than Oceanside, or how is that situated?
So Oceanside,
shows how much I know California.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's all good. Oceanside is about it's about a 40-minute drive north from like downtown area.
San Diego. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's more of like I'm not gonna say like your retirement town, but it's just more mellow.
Okay.
Right. Carlsbad, Oceanside is just mellow.
Sure. Is it cheaper to be in San Diego downtown, or did you take a big? No. Okay.
No,
that's what I was gonna say.
Not.
All right.
So I had to take the leap, and I moved in with my girl. She's a professional singer.
Nice.
Kay
Okay.
Emmeline. She's incredible, and she plays with these incredible musicians around town. So she's kind of plugging me in, and getting me really, really good gigs. And I'm just grateful, man. Everything just changed. I've been there a month, and it's going really well.
That's cool, man. Well, since you were last year, you were living in Oceanside. You had just started to really, I think, work on the website for the music, and then you were putting out. Had you recorded your original stuff yet?
No,
at that point,
not
no.
at all.
Okay, so that's just happened in the last 6 months.
Yep.
Wow. So tell me about that journey. I mean, how many? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah.
before it
So
comes
I
out,
have
or?
a couple songs out. I'm working on a few more. I've had, man, because I've been playing music for 15 years now, a little over 15 years, and I have all these little snippet recordings of things I've come up with, inspiration hits, and get my phone, record a little 15-second bit, and that's
Write
it.
it down before you lose it.
Yeah,
That's how I am
exactly.
with ideas. I got to write it down right
Totally,
there.
dude, totally. Because we often make the mistake, like, oh, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
And
you
then,
won't. Yeah.
a day goes by, you're like,
Or it's the worst when you're like all inebriated and you're with some buddies at the bar and you got some shit on a napkin and you're like, this is it. This is it. Why didn't we think of this like years ago? And the next morning it's like, what do we do with that napkin, dude?
exactly. It's gone. Shit.
So I think what we were talking about is basically you're in the music scene in San Diego downtown now. Looks like you're doing a little bit more work in that realm instead of in Oceanside. So there's more gigs. There's more music scene in San Diego.
Yeah, not only that, but see the unique show. A lot of my Facebook people know what I'm doing now, but I have a very unique show, in where I play live music and I do a live painting all in one show.
Right. Okay.
So let's just say if I do it, just to keep it simple, if I do a 2-hour show, I will play half hour of music. I'll do half hour of painting and finish about 60% of that painting.
Okay.
And let's just say I'm painting Bob Marley. So I'll play half hour of live music and I'll paint Bob Marley to Bob Marley playlist.
Right.
So the music keeps kicking. People are still having a good
Sure.
time. And then, again, I finished only 60% of it. Right. And then I pick the guitar back up, start playing more music. And it's great because we humans hate to look at things that are undone. Right?
Sure.
So people are just like, okay, he's playing music again. Like, I want to see the completion of this painting.
Right.
Right. And usually it's at a winery, at a bar. So it's like, people are like, well, let's grab another drink, or I'm getting hungry.
Right. Continue to
Yeah.
spend money at the venue.
Exactly.
Sure,
So everybody wins in this sense, right? So music, painting, more music, and then at the end of the show, I finish the painting, and people are just like, wow.
Yeah, they're blown away by that. I've never heard of that, man.
One man show doing live music and live painting.
Yeah.
People have seen bands where there's a live painting, being done
down in the corner,
or
right. Or you
stuff
see that
like
guy that does like the music, and then all he's doing is painting, but it's just recorded music being played over
Sure.
loudspeakers. Whereas yours is an actual live show.
Yeah,
That's so awesome. And are you incorporating a full band yet, or is it still?
No.
Okay.
I'm cruising, doing this whole thing
Solo.
solo because what's happening is establishments are paying me basically full band pay. What they pay full bands.
Yeah.
They're paying me to come in and do that show.
Fuck, man.
What
You
they
got
pay
it.
4
You
or
got
5
it, dude.
people.
That's right here. Give me some.
And I found out a way. And when I began this, it wasn't like, oh my God, I have the best idea in the world.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do to kick
Sure,
this off
sure.
and get it going. It was more like, I'd been playing at this Irish pub, O'Sullivan's Irish Pub in Carlsbad it was literally the first place when I stepped in California. It was the first stage I stepped on and played my guitar.
Really?
So 12 years ago, exactly.
Wow, man. That's
Exactly
cool.
12 years ago. So I hit up the manager and I was like, yo, I want to do the live acoustic thing because they have like live acoustic music on Sundays, but I want to do a live art thing. Is that cool? And she's like, well, tell me about it.
Explain
so
this
I
to
kinda,
me. What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean? So I explained a little bit and she's like, yeah, we could try it, and tried it there and tried it at Witch Creek Winery and all these other places, and people just caught on, and there's like articles written about it. And,
Yeah.
And I came out with this commercial, and
I think I saw the commercial. I try to keep up with you, man, but I mean, you put out content like a boss, and you don't even have like a marketing guy, right? Like,
no.
I
Dude,
you are the marketing guy.
I am the marketing guy and the artist and the PR guy and the
right. Well, I think something like that it's hard to say no to that, especially nowadays, because I think venues are constantly trying to reinvent themselves. And a theme I've noticed with a lot of the musicians that I interview, a lot of anything really, is that the differentiator is people that are doing something that kind of hasn't been looked at that way before. Like when it comes to music, I have a lot of the guys that I've had on that have talked about live shows is where it's at, rather than trying to sell albums. Because nobody's going on to Amazon and buying a $9.99 CD sent to your house because nobody uses CDs. I don't even have anything that plays CDs.
What's a CD?
What is this you speak of? DVD? But so the thing that I've noticed is like those live shows is where it's popping off, and more of the experience. And maybe that speaks to millennials and stuff, because more people are spending money on traveling than they are material objects, and they're investing more in the memories than they are the future. It's maybe a bad thing to say, but I mean,
No, I think you're right, and and again, like before this podcast, before we start recording, we were talking about like always having ideas.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of think, okay, I'm doing this at wineries. I'm doing this at different establishments. Now I've been doing it for private parties.
Okay.
To where if it's like a Sweet 16 party, I can come in, do the live music, and do like a painting of the little girl with her dog
Yeah.
or something for them to take home and keep forever.
Yeah.
Right. Or I'm going to start doing it for weddings. But not only that, I'm going even further. I've been emailing cruise ships.
Oh, wow. Okay. To get on the cruise ship,
Yep.
bro. That's using the noggin, man. For
Yeah.
real.
I've been doing that, and then I'm going to start emailing people in like China and stuff, dude. Because why not?
Get international, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like those people just love that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Well, and they're starting to get more westernized in terms of what they'll accept. Because in China, you couldn't buy a console, like a gaming system, until very recently, till like 4 years ago. They lifted the, you couldn't buy like a PlayStation, go home and jam out. So computer gaming became the thing in China and got huge because there was no PlayStations, there's no Xboxes. So they opened that up. So that went crazy. And then they started to take on more westernized movies. And now whenever a movie releases like Black Panther,
I've never seen it.
yeah,
But I did see I Can Only Imagine.
yeah, well, I mean, it was very it was very big here, which was like a sleeper movie. They didn't think it would do that well, and then they pushed it into the Chinese market like 2 weeks later. So they did 85 million in the first weekend, just jumping into the Chinese market. Yeah, and that's just because it's almost like a boxed off thing. So once you drop in that movie, like it's a whole nother set of numbers and demographics. And,
Big time.
Yeah, so you moving into that area, you're this is most literally an untapped market. I mean, it's most literally because they're just now coming around to where they're allowing more westernized stuff, and it would be a trip to see you get in there. The hospital I work for actually is trying to pull in people from our company to go over there to tell them about how to do rehabilitation work with the elderly, because the population of China is getting to that point where they're ballooning, with the people that are needing that rehabilitation stuff. So it's interesting to see them, because with their new leadership and the differences from, even 10 years ago, these guys are sucking in a lot of Western stuff. And man, it would be so cool to see like the very first art, wine, music show over there in China, man.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's a matter of when. Like I just learned to think big, man. I mean, why confine yourself to these little thoughts? Like,
Yeah. Well, when we started the podcast, we didn't think we'd be doing a VR podcast, man. So that was definitely a step into the unknown. But people like the unknown stuff, man. How often do you do these and have like music there that you could almost package? Like, do you ever think of taking that and maybe like doing like an iTunes thing, or you're not recorded that well while you're there? Or do you record them? I guess should be the next question. Like these shows, do you record them?
Or? No, I don't record them as far as like audio, but I will do some video stuff because I do have a promo video out of what I do, but I'm gonna keep growing, and keep getting more well known in that realm. And so, yeah, I just take snippets just so I can post and share with my Facebook friends and whatnot. But to answer your question, we don't, as far as like putting stuff on iTunes, with the live shows.
Well, I like when I went to your Sergio Gutierrez music. I got it right?
Mm-hmm.
Sergio, okay. When I went to that site, you had that video on there. So I like stuff like that where you can scroll in and you see the YouTube video. It's got you playing and you're jamming out,
Yeah, that's at the Belly Up. Yeah.
Okay, Belly. I was going to ask you about that. Okay. Yeah. So have you played any original music since you've...
Live?
Yeah. Any of the stuff that you're... Okay, so today is going to be the exclusive?
This is... Nobody's ever... Not even my own mother has heard this song. So if you're in, we're going to play my new song very soon. And nobody's heard it except for very, very select few. And I'm excited, man.
It's cool.
And I don't even know. People are like, what type of music? I don't know. I don't know.
So you don't have a category for it?
I don't. And it's so funny. I ask people like, okay, well, just listen to this song. Of course, my closest friends. I'm like, listen to this song and tell me what you think, but tell me like what style do you think this is? And they're like, it's a mix between like somebody said like Jason Aldean and somebody else. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even listen to that dude, I think he's great, but it's funny. I actually had a meeting with Kyle Martin. He's a local. Have you heard of Kyle Martin?
I think you told me about this cat on the last cast.
Yeah, he's a local Albuquerque guy, and he's probably one of the busiest working musicians around. And he's great. He's my boy. And shout out to Kyle Martin.
Kyle?
Yeah, I just came out with a new album.
On the cast, man.
And Kyle Martin is on Spotify. So check him out if you guys have Spotify. I mean, he's great, man. And what was I getting at?
The style. He listened to it, to your new song.
Oh, you know what? He actually didn't listen to my new
Okay.
song.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I just want to plug him in and say, "Go Kyle Martin,
Go Kyle
new
Martin.
album,
Team Kyle, we're
Spotify."
fangirling a little bit. It's all right.
Yeah,
We're fangirling a
right.
little bit.
So,
So the idea here would be that you're gonna tease the music and then you are gonna release it though, like a full album that we can download.
yes, eventually. Yeah,
Okay.
you know, I don't have a full album recorded yet, but I do have a few songs recorded and a few songs in the works. And this song you're gonna hear, I have my boy Phil Cullens playing drums on it. I have a show with him on Monday. In fact, this guy he's not only a great musician, he's just like a great soul, dude. Not
Great
to
human
sound
being.
cheesy, but he's just like, he's a dude that just loves everybody right off the
Yeah.
bat, no judgment, and just great dude. And then I have Kevin Ryan playing bass. He's currently in Mexico writing his album right now.
Wow.
Just took a trip out there for like I think it's 2 weeks, and he's just gonna sit and write,
Hang out on the beach, drink some Coronas.
hang out. Yeah, exactly. Maybe some Dos Equis.
Dos Equis.
And then I got Mike Rudolph on keys, and yeah, I'm playing guitar, singing. So
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm so glad to hear that you're moving forward with what you'd been talking about, and it seems to me you're doing it the right way. A lot of musicians will come up with crap the first few albums and try to release that. I feel like you've actually gone through more than 10 years of work to get to where you can actually write professional music. And then I'm gonna go out of my way to say this. Sergio brought me a WAV file, so anybody in the future that wants to be a guest, that shows me a whole nother level when you bring me a WAV file to put in there, because most people are like, here's this MP3 and it sounds terrible, but this guy brings me a WAV, man, which is like usually what you'll get. That's what we record in. That's what anybody records in that's pro, and the files are much bigger, but that means you're getting a high def sound. So when you guys do listen to this, it is at the end of the podcast. Make sure that you fully appreciate what we're getting, because you guys, you have no idea the differences. And I didn't know this stuff till I started podcasting. Little tiny things like that.
You learn along the way, and that's all due to Mike McConaughey of Aerovac Studios. That's where I recorded this song.
Aerovac.
Aerovox.
Aerovox.
Yeah, Aerovox Studios.
I bet nobody had that. When he looked it up, he's like, yep, nobody has that .com.
Yeah. No, and the name's cool. The dude is cool. His work is incredible. He went to the Musicians Institute and studied recording. And in fact, in his class when he graduated, they did one final project. He got the top.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was like a capstone project that he just knocked it out or something.
Yeah,
like
he
that?
knocked it out, and people were like, "Yeah, that dude's going somewhere." Like, he knows
That's awesome,
his shit.
man.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with my producer here. He's trying to create a studio himself, and he's starting to slowly pick up more action from the podcast. You know,
Sure.
it's interesting the doors that open, because we did the VR podcast, and he's never had to master video captured from a computer from inside of a virtual conference room.
There you go.
Like, yeah, and this is something he's gonna use for his graduation, or part of it, I guess, is gonna be like this portfolio of like, hey, I did this really tough shit creating this podcast. Because I mean, the guy showed me like he doesn't have a studio. He has a laptop. So he shows me like a couple monitors he's got attached to it, and it's just this fuzz, man. And the stuff that those producers and engineers go
Sure.
through, is nuts. Because I'm sure you can musician all day, but you get in front of a Pro Tools or something like that, and you're like,
Yeah, no. And Mike McConaughey of Aerovox Studios, man, it's fascinating. Just his knowledge on miking up, the drums and all this stuff. But what's most fascinating to me is, man, when everything's recorded, then you get into the control room, and he's just like, okay, bam, bam,
Yeah.
slice this. But
well, to
this,
watch him do it as they go.
dude, and he does it like he doesn't second guess. He already knows what he needs to hear. He knows what needs to be in place. He just knows, dude, and it's so cool. Like, I can't even see the cursor half the time because he's just flying.
Yeah, or they do the hotkeys on the keyboard, and I work in IT, and I can't even fathom. Like, what did you press? Hold on, slow down. Pinky press was where?
My brain hurts. Yeah, so
props to all you guys that do that, Spider and Mike. Yeah, you guys, awesome. That's huge. Just for sake of saying so, I think one of the best things that you could possibly do is work with somebody like that. If you want to do any sort of actual production value,
sure.
If you think you're a musician, you need to work with somebody that has a studio. They know what they're doing. It's just like videography, man. Like, you should not try to attempt to make your own professional video content unless you have somebody that does it. You know what I mean? Because I've tried to put it together, and it looks like I was putting together a PowerPoint presentation in 1998, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
You remember Tech Lab 2000, don't you?
Oh, of
From
course.
high school? Yeah,
Of
dude, that's
course.
not there anymore. That was the thing, and it's not like a thing, but we had this class in high school where you'd rotate these little stations for like a week, and you'd do all kinds of madness. I think we had an audio thing in there, didn't we?
I don't even remember. I just remember doing art class. That was like my first taste of art.
Okay.
with Miss Ranshaw. Do you remember her?
I think so. I didn't have her, but I knew of her as an art teacher. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was eclectic, to
All
say the
right.
least, but
Probably a
yeah.
good artist though. Most eclectic types
Oh,
are.
oh yeah,
I'm
she was
not. No judgment.
incredible.
I'm not calling.
Yeah, I know. Hey, dude, you got to be weird to be an artist,
Yeah, that's
man.
it. That's it.
You have to,
Yeah.
seriously.
Or you got to be madly inspired, which I think you are, man. You're madly inspired. So pursuing greatness, and man, thank you for coming on again. It's so cool to see you
dude,
here, bro.
thanks for having me. It's good to be back home, dude. And I just finished eating. Mama's cooking, and now I'm on podcast with Mr. Morgan here.
Yes, sir.
So thank you, man.
Yeah, well, we I think one of the things that we were looking at when we were coming back around is we're like, man, we got to start bringing on some guys that have been on before, because it really illustrates the fact that you are pursuing greatness because you're continuing to fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure, yeah. And I'm better than I was 6 months ago, and I'm definitely better than I was yesterday. And I think with that mindset, you're just gonna keep climbing.
Right. So what kind of so you're playing these shows on your own, you're doing these art shows. Are you still opening for bands and stuff like that too? Or are you still do you have like a sprinkling of different things you do still, or is it just these art shows?
Yeah. Now that I moved in the downtown area, I've been playing with different bands. So I joined this band. They're called Archive.
Okay.
And it's like a cover band stuff, but yeah, I'm just going to continue working on original music. And I actually, again, another plug, Nick Crook. I had a meeting with him the other day, and this guy is unreal. I believe he's like 22 years old, and he just had a CD release party, just got off tour. Nick, you are the man, dude. You guys have to go on Spotify and look up Nick Crook, Crook.
Nick Crook. I want to make jokes, but he sounds like a good guy.
So dude, yeah, make jokes. He's actually really freaking cool. No, he's really freaking cool.
So what's his MO? What's he do?
So he's from Texas, and when I first met him, man, he was super humble. My girl's like, "Oh yeah, Nick's a musician too." I'm like, "Oh cool, what kind of stuff?" And he's like, "Oh man, just acoustic," And he just made it seem like whatever. But at the time, like his album was just being completed, and he was just planning his tour and all this stuff. But he didn't mention any of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I go to a CD release party, and I'm like, I was blown away, dude. Like, it gives me a chills just thinking about it. Cause and I told Nick this, dude, every single song, and he played the show like as the album is.
Okay.
Right. So
chronologically or whatever.
There we go.
Yeah, I think that's.
And every song, man, just he hit it, and it's just like, that song's amazing.
Killed it.
Finishes it, starts another. I'm like, this song's amazing. and there's
was it all acoustic?
No. Well, he played mainly acoustic, but he had a great band behind him.
Okay.
This German guitar player, Stefan, and Kevin Ryan, the guy who played on my track that we're about to hear. He played bass, and just sick drum. I mean, great players. David Uter on keys, man. He's an LA guy.
Like what we're talking about, professionals compared to guys that want to be musicians. Sure.
The top guys. And so anyway, what I'm getting at, check out Nick Crook's album. It's incredible. I think you guys will like every single song. It's kind of like a more soulful, like John Mayer kind of
more
stuff.
Soulful than John Mayer.
Yeah, it's incredible.
More soulful than John Mayer.
It's and I'm a John Mayer fan, so
that's huge, man. So so Nick Crook, and then you guys are playing in the. Now you met this guy, but he's not an Archive. That's not what you were saying.
He's not an Archive. No. So going back to what you asked, yeah, I'm playing with the Archive. I told Nick, "Yo, I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna work with you. I'm having this meeting right now so we can speed up the process."
And if the meeting doesn't happen, I may have to kidnap you and take you to some dark hole somewhere and help you record.
Yeah. Yeah, I genuinely want to work with the guy. I love his music, and he's a cool cat, and why?
Yeah,
there's no.
Why not?
Yeah.
So guys like that, I mean, do you find that they're willing to sit down and chat with you and like kind of give you some, like a mentor kind of, and give you some advice? I mean, do you cull something from cats like that as you run into them? Do you pull back like?
I think you can pull some advice from really anybody. Oftentimes, I mean, having kids, sometimes like they'll say something or they'll just, something will happen and they'll just say the simplest thing. You'll be like, wow, that is so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're learning from your own child.
Yeah. My 7-year-old will do that to me and be like, "Dad, you're being kind of mean." And I'm like,
you're like, "Oh,
yeah,
I've always been this way, but I guess you're right."
Yeah. Like, like your bad day is now it's like, man, it's not that bad, man. I'm affecting other people. I need to fucking think about it.
Yeah. Cause bottom line, man, anybody you meet knows something that you don't.
I like that.
You know,
Yeah.
plain and simple. So going back to what you asked, yeah, you know, Nick was totally willing to chat, and I think I've found in the business world, man, um, people are more willing than we think to sit down and have a chat about business.
Sure.
Because you know, again, I hang out with a lot of cats who just are, you know, multimillionaires, and when I first met him, it's just like, hey man, do you want to go out to lunch? Like, on me, let's just chat. And yeah, 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, yeah, that sounds good.
That's huge, man.
You know, where we make a lot of people make up their own stories, like, oh no, that guy's on a different level.
Right.
Like, I don't know if
I'm not big enough to
you
be
know,
able to talk to
essentially,
him.
I'm not worthy to,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
no, screw that. They're people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've learned that, you know, when you ask them, you know, and in a sense, you know, you want them to mentor you for that hour you're at lunch or whatever, they're happy to,
Yeah.
because not a lot of people ask them that,
Right.
you know, but they're proud of where they become. So they're like, I want somebody
right.
to ask,
and it
right?
comes naturally to them, so they're willing to talk about it in a way that's personable. It's not like you know, there's a lot of mentor things out there that are products. You buy these get rich schemes, or you know, these things like that. And when you get to somebody that's not trying to sell you something, but it's coming from the heart, man. Like I feel like that's where you pull out the notepad and you're writing shit down.
Sure.
But,
Oh yeah.
And they're relating to you. You know, I like even having you on, man. Like it was very cool to have you on, and it was very humbling to me because I was like, man, I didn't think I'd get Sergio on here. I mean, it happened, of course, the fact that you're flying down here, you know, for other purposes to go see Mama, but you know, I'm like, man, maybe I can pull in the legend.
The legend. No, I'm just another dude from Los Angeles, New Mexico, working hard. I mean,
yeah, no, it is work, man. I mean, even though you're networking, like it still takes time. It takes resources. I mean, it takes away from your lady. It takes away from your time when you're having to do stuff that's kind of a business arrangement. So like with Armando, he's still, you still train with him, and he's still kind of like a mentor to you. You guys are
absolutely. Yeah. Armando from Champion Eyes, he'll always be, you know, one of my best buds ever. I mean, I've learned so much from him. It's priceless what we've given each other as far as like friendship and advice and being there when we really need each other. And you know, I read up on this study, and the bottom line, what we humans want is to know that this person is going to have my back, and I want them to know that I have theirs.
Right.
That's the bottom line of what we all want in human.
Trust. I mean, at the end of the day, it's trust.
Yeah, in life, you know, and we want that from our parents, from our close friends, from, you know, it's very hard to find that. So,
well, especially with like being a guy, you know, like it's hard to find another dude that you feel like they're bigger than you. You know, like I'm kind of coming to this point where I'm trying to surround myself with friends that are bigger than me, and they're pursuing things like that. And I'm sure you without even thinking about it, are doing the same thing. I mean, your 5 last texts that you sent, the 5 last people that you communicated with and chose to communicate with them. I mean, they're essentially doing things that probably you are aspiring to, or at least you're, you know, it's somebody that's interested in the same things that you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the basic fact that if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong freaking room,
yes,
dude.
Exactly. That's short and sweet. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
and you know, and we have the ability to choose who we hang out with and who we spend our energy with, man. Like nowadays, somebody can write a negative comment on my social media, and dude, I don't even blink. I don't ever write back. I don't do anything. I'm like, dude, I'm doing some cool stuff, and I'm a good dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing in that comment that's gonna like wreck what's happening here.
Right, you're taking care of you, man.
Yeah, I'm like, they're just, you know, I feel sorry for them because they're.
That's when you send them like a little love message. Hey, let me get your email. Let's go have coffee, man. You know? Like,
yeah, exactly. No, I just simply like say, oh, well, poor that person. Like, feel sorry for them. Delete.
Yeah.
And then I move on.
Yeah. Well, that's cool that you have a humble mind about that. There's a lot of people I think that are they're doing the things that you're doing, and they may be a little what's the word? Self-conscious, I guess.
Yeah,
you know?
Some people are more sensitive than others, you know. But for lack of better
do you ever
explanation, what's that?
Do you ever get hecklers?
Oh yeah.
Do you really? How do you handle that, like in a live scene where the cat's there and like?
Well, it depends what they're doing.
Sure.
You know,
what's the worst heckler you've had?
I guess it wasn't a heckler, but there's this one time where this drunk girl, I was singing, and this drunk girl ran into the microphone and chipped my tooth.
Ooh, bro.
So that sucks.
Yeah.
And but You know, when people say free bird, they don't realize how annoying that shit is.
Right.
You know, free bird, it's like, okay, hit
Now-
it, boys. And then we freaking play free
Now,
bird.
bro,
And
I was gonna say, to
rock
your
the
credit,
5 minute
I've heard you rock
solo.
the shit out of Freebird, bro.
yeah, and then they're just like, oh shit, that was a joke, but that
Oops.
was right on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And then,
So-
I mean, you don't just Freebird. You Freebird behind your back, behind your head. I seen you. This dude has his guitar behind his back. I wasn't there, but I was on the Facebook Live, man.
Yeah.
I watched you. I think that was right after this one. You were playing like outside at a hotel or something. It looked like it was like, I'm gonna say near some water, but that's kind of like a blanket statement.
yeah, I mean, I play
all over the place.
all over the place. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, that's awesome with hecklers, man. You know, we haven't gotten. I guess we're just not in the same realm. You know, we're leaning more towards live stuff, and we're hoping to maybe do like some festivals. And I gotta say, man, like I think you're pooling a group of people that are building you up. And the only reason why I was asking about hecklers is, you know, I wonder when we start seeing you like opening for the, you know, or doing the halftime show for the Super Bowl, you know, I'm
Right.
like, man, I wonder how you handle that, you know, but that's cool to think that it doesn't even phase you. Like you're not.
Oh no, dude. Like, no, nothing ever does, man. Like, you know, I get a lot of slack. I used to get a lot more slack for having like long hair and tight pants. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you little girl, and this and that. I've actually gotten in fights in Hollywood because of that.
You were telling me
kind
about
of shit.
that, the Pizza Hut thing, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, but now, you know, that's why I started lifting weights and training karate, and it's like,
Yeah.
talk shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm a lover, not a fighter, but
I've got 2 albums out. I've got 3 singles, and I've knocked out 4 people in the last 2 weeks due to their mouth. Don't heckle, Sergio.
no, I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
So when it comes to people that you're running into, do you find that they come up with do they have a vision for you, or I mean, like, because you were showing me this thing where you were actually talking to people that are millionaires that are friends of yours, and you had kind of done like some interviews with them, not to broach it too much that way, but,
Yeah.
but you had kind of chatted with them and asked them some specific questions. Do you feel that when those guys see what you're doing and the lifestyle that you're pursuing, do they have an idea, or do they give you ideas, or do you feel like they are kind of in awe and they think that your plan is unique enough to where they're like, man, you're doing good things. Like I would have never thought of doing an art show and shit like that. Or are they like, this is how you can business ties it and all that? I mean, how do
Here's the deal, man. Like, I've learned, this is one of the biggest things that I can say that's catapulted my businesses is when you hang out with these type of people,
millionaire types,
sure,
sure,
big mind, big idea types,
right?
You know, they didn't get to where they are by accident. So when I look at them, they're my big bros. So when they're overlooking the things I'm doing, they'll be like, hey, yo, dude, like last year, beginning of 2017, my buddy Joe looked at my website and he's just like, he got pissed at me. He looked at my prices. He goes, dude, I don't freaking ever want to see anything under $2,000 on that website.
Really?
Your stuff is worth way more. Never sell a painting for like $200.
Yeah.
What is this shit?
Right.
He goes, go home tonight, change those prices.
Wow.
And you know what? In the past, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I should do that. And then I'd go home and I wouldn't do that. But I'm like, take a deep breath and I'm like, all right, change from 300 to 2,000.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, my stuff started selling more because
Really?
people value it more.
Wow. And that could speak to the concept of like, it's that much better because it's that more, you know, like that's the human psyche almost, you know, like
Absolutely.
it's hurry now, the sale will end tomorrow, you know, oh, fuck, buy it now, you know. And then the same idea can be held with that, because if it's $2,000 to me, that says it's a very unique painting, where $300 says that's one hanging at the wall in the restaurant, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And really what they're showing me is they're showing me my own worth.
Yeah.
But since I posted that and since I've been selling stuff, you know, everything's about belief. If you believe you can do something, your subconscious is going to do things and seek opportunity to get you to that target.
I love that, man.
But we got to have that target first.
Yeah.
We got to have a target. And so going back to what you asked, yeah, you know, they make suggestions.
Yeah.
I, you know, do those things they're telling me to do, where later they say, man, you're actually listening to me.
That's awesome. So
And
do you feel like they're more willing to give you more advice because you?
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
well, and it's not like even they're like dishing out more advice. I keep asking,
Sure.
because if they were willing to give it to me in the beginning,
Right.
and things are shooting up, now I'm like, all right, dude, I'm at a different level. What do I do now?
Right.
And that's where the whole conversation came in. Like, what would you do with $1 million?
Right.
You know, and because I know I'm getting to that level.
Sure.
Right. And when I make that million, it's like, dude, what do I do with $10 million?
Right.
Like, where do I put?
Well, no, and you're right in that, because I mean, how many times do you see these poor people that win these $500 million lottery things, and fucking 3 months later they're like dead outside a casino with like a half pound of blow and like, you know, $500,000 in debt or something, you know, like it's ridiculous.
Well, and well, you know, I've learned, you know, being a millionaire, it's a total mindset.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not talking about money. I'm not like worshiping money. Money isn't everything, for sure, because like there are a lot of wealthy people financially that are not wealthy spiritually, that are not wealthy relationally with their family,
That's
that are
huge
not
to say
wealthy
that,
with their health.
Yeah.
They're sick and dying with millions of dollars. What is it for?
What do you do with all that money if you're not even living at all? Yeah. Well, I've been listening to a lot of variations of podcasts that kind of, you know, speak to that stuff, and I think it's funny how often it comes back to that same mode. You know, like how far do you have to go before you're more material than you are spiritual? And what I mean by that is, I mean, you know, like we had talked about this off mic, like your gratitude in life and the way that you're doing things is pulling good karma, and that good karma, whether you believe in it or not, is essentially pulling in wealth as well. And that's the spiritual wealth, the mental wealth. And then on top of that, you get the money wealth, you know, because you're showing people that you're growing. And that's something I'm trying to continually bring up with A Perch of Birds is like, you know, if you're pursuing what you're doing, don't be an asshole about it. You know, go along and keep your ears open and keep your heart open, you know, and look at you. I mean, you're getting people to give you advice, and these are from millionaires, man, and going out to lunch with you and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, man, I think it takes a mindset to get to that point. You can't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm just going to start being successful. Let me call I don't know, Bill Gates and be like, dog, let's go. It's not going to work. You know, like you have to, as a person, have combined these experiences. And you were telling me you have a passion journal. What did you call it?
Yeah, it's a passion planner.
Okay.
So thanks to my girl Kay, my girl is such a great businesswoman, so smart, so driven. You think I'm driven? My girl is like.
Well, you settled down with her, man, so she's got to be.
Oh, she's amazing. Yeah,
a good way. She's nuts. She's a healthy nuts. Yeah, like
So the passion planner, man, it basically starts out. You know, I got a 2018, obviously, passion planner, and it starts out like, okay, what are your 3-month goals? What are your annual goals? Your 3-year goals, 5-year goals, lifetime goals.
Wow. Okay.
And it says on the bottom, give you 5 minutes, time yourself, and just whatever comes to mind. You know, write down a few 3-month goals.
Okay.
Year goals, 3-year, all that. And then it says next step, circle the one that's most important out of the year goals, 3-month goals, bam, bam.
Okay.
And then on the next page, it says, okay, now with each of those goals, write down how you're going to get there. The things you're going to do daily, weekly, monthly, and
yearly, and lifetime, the whole bit. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then day by day, week by week, man, you just plan out your it's like a regular planner, but at the top it's like, okay, what's today's focus?
Yeah.
And then you write down today's focus, and then you write down, you know, your daily activities. And on the left side of it always has this cool quote, and it says like, has a box that says like things to do, people to see, things not to do. Because a lot of times it's like, okay, I'm not going to do this because it's not helping my life.
After the show on Saturday, no bender till 12 o'clock the next day.
Exactly.
Cut those out.
Yeah. So this has been helping me like crazy, man. It's amazing. If you guys haven't heard of the Passion Planner.
Where does that come from? She just came up with that, or she's got somebody that, I mean.
I believe it was somebody, now don't quote me on this, but I think, somebody from San Diego came up with it. And it's just, it's huge now. So Passion Planner, you can get it on Amazon. And I think if you go passionplanner.com or something.
Okay.
But dude, if you want to be successful, this is kind of like gives you a roadmap and keeps you on track.
Yeah.
Because we can all write down our goals and do this, and then we forget it somewhere.
Fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is like, dude, week by week. And at the end of the month, it has this whole write-up like, okay, name 5 great things that happened this month. What did you learn from this month? what can you do so that next month will be better in these areas?
Do you feel like it's making your goals come faster? I mean, what's the benefits that you're seeing from like making? Because I've honestly been entertaining taking a route like this, and I've tried different stuff. Like I've tried like a checklist, but it doesn't come back and hit me in the face. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, it's 9 o'clock. You should be at the gym on Saturday morning rather than sitting here watching movies, whatever, because like I legitimately feel that if I don't think about it and I don't plan it, like when I know that I have downtime coming, I won't fill that with anything. Mm-hmm. This cat is really trying to be in this podcast.
You're getting jealous. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work for everybody. And it's one of those things where you really have to, I've created a habit of carrying it everywhere with me.
Sure. So you're always with it and you're always adhering to it. Sure.
And even if I don't need it, like I'm going to the bank real quick, but oh man, this is another thing I learned. It's all about the habits.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about the habits that you do. And it's just like the fact that I'm grabbing this passion planner just to go to the bank and come back home. It's like, it'll be a habit when I really need it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have this meeting and I got to write down these ideas. Passion planner. Right.
Rockefeller carried around a notebook in his pocket and wrote down everything, including his ideas. If he gave 10, he'd carry around dimes to give to kids. I think early 1900s. That 10 cents would get written down in his book. This is, I want to say it's J.D. Rockefeller. Do I have that wrong? I think it was J.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So but his lifestyle in that grew into a lot of the things that are now like that, like the passion planner. And what is the one that Oprah uses? The vision board. The vision board.
Let me tell you. No. I don't know if I had a vision board when we did our first podcast. It is scary awesome.
Really?
I have a vision board and it has, at the top it says help people with the big heart.
Really?
That's the very first thing.
That's awesome.
I think a lot of like true successful people, like wealthy people, I mean spiritually, relationally, physically, wealthy people really look to help others.
And you're seeing this from firsthand experience, man. This isn't
absolutely. So real quick story. I came up with this vision board, and it has all these photos of things that I desire in life. Right? It has your cliche stuff like the car and the house, but further than that, I've always wanted to ride in a private plane.
Oh wow.
Okay. And I even have like a money wave like next to one of my art pieces, and it says people pay high price for my artwork because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
And it has like some fitness stuff, and then it has like some finance stuff. But dude, it's so crazy that everything is happening.
Really?
Like almost like in order.
That's
that
amazing.
I have it on my board. It is so scary. So I know that the next thing I have on my vision board, like that's coming.
Yeah. So you can almost predict what's going to come up next.
Yeah, like last time I was in New Mexico in January, we flew in a private plane.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know that, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, so you got to mark it off your vision board? That's so cool.
It's so cool. My girl's grandfather has his own plane.
Oh, nice.
So we flew from That's
awesome. You definitely got a good one.
Right? She needed a haircut.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I saw the pictures of that. That was for a haircut?
Yeah, my girl needed a haircut. I was like, my mom's a hairdresser. We can make this happen. Call your grandfather. He has a plane. Let's do this.
Hey, Grandpa, do me a favor. Fuel the jet. We're coming.
We're coming.
We'll be right there. You got any foods? That's okay. Just coffee. That's all I need.
Right? No, her grandparents are great, man. Ann and Ty, they're beautiful people. So yeah, but anyway, the vision board. If you guys never done a vision board, go out today, buy a poster, get on your phone. I just Googled like things I desire and printed them out individually, plastered them to this board, and watch
it go.
Awesome shit.
That's interesting,
take
man.
off.
I'm gonna try it. And I'll report back to you, dog.
Because I have to.
I've looked at it, and there's a few groups that I follow on Facebook that are, shout out to the Gary Vayner Nation groups on Facebook, because I cull a lot of things from that. And being that I live in Los Lunas, there's probably a lot of inspirational people here, but not the same as many as you would have in San Diego. So there's a group on Facebook that I've been pulling from, and a lot of those guys talk about vision boards. And a lot of these guys are all entrepreneurs. Some of them are much further along. They're millionaires, and a lot of times they're just giving value-added videos back to the group, you know, and a lot of them will go back and take pictures of their vision boards. And at first I thought it was corny, but I can watch through a timeline on Facebook of these guys, you know, like you can go back through in their Instagram and you can see when they started out basically working out of their houses or their apartments to where they're doing $300-400 an hour talking to people on the phone, consulting under life coaching and the variations of things. There's a guy that did realty and he's not even 26 and the dude's showing, you know, a couple $1 million worth of stuff. But yeah, so he's driving around in some sweet ass rides and stuff, but that shit works, man. And that's huge that you actually use it. And like, you can, you know, if any of you guys have doubts right here, Sergio shows you,
dude,
man.
it's scary awesome.
It
like
works.
It's mind blowing.
So what's the lifetime? What's the end of the vision board? Can you tell us that, or is that it?
No, the end of the vision board, like just in my lifetime, man, I just you know, when I leave this world, I want to leave it not just better than when I came in, but a lot better.
Wow, that's huge, man.
You know, I want to, I forgot who it was, but somebody's main goal is to make a ton of money so that he can give away a ton of money.
That's huge. That's
You
philanthropy at its most defined.
And again, it's not about the money. It's about, you know, like we just did a really cool show at the Belly Up where we raised almost $2,000 for music programs in California.
Wow. Something that is definitely losing money for sure.
Exactly. So it's, you know, money does give you the ability to make, you know, life better.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I think it takes away from the political agendas that are going on, no matter what part in the timeline that you pick at. I mean, when you're a philanthropist, you can make changes that has nothing to do with your elected officials or what the current economy is. I mean, if you're Bill Gates and you want to rebuild a village in Africa, you just snap your fingers, man, and it happens. And I think people that are sitting in that mindset of wanting to make money, to give away money, you know, those guys, it looks like they're these rich people, but I think they really get off on the success of helping people. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
for sure.
The entrepreneurial spirit is only so strong because you eventually are helping people. That's what an entrepreneur is. You're creating something to make somebody happy or to meet
add a value,
right? To answer a problem or a solution, you know. So if you guys need to have somebody come out and play a show, do a painting at your venue, you guys know where to find Mr. Sergio. It's Sergio Gutierrez Music and Sergio Gutierrez Fine Art.
SergiosFineArt.com.
SergiosFineArt.com. I'm going to get it after like the 7th time.
It's all good. Like I said, all my Facebook peeps already know my website.
You guys know what's up? Yeah. Well, I think we can probably try to pull out that music.
You guys ready for new music? A song called Bed You Made.
Bed You Made.
Gotta sleep
So that's the song, guys. You heard it first.
Woo!
On Facebook and on a Perch of Birds
Perch
Media.
Birds Media.
Yeah, man.
Exclusive. So we're going to put that entire song at the end in nice, beautiful wave format so you guys can hear it. And of course, please check out his website. Please check out anything that he's doing in the future, because the thing is the more you guys share anybody's content that's trying to do stuff like we are, it does nothing but help us out. Even if we get 1 or 2 people, those 1 or 2 people might listen to the next 2 or 3 songs that Sergio puts out, or the next 2 or 3 podcasts that APOB puts out. So even though it seems like a small thing, we love it when you guys share our stuff. So thank you guys in Sergio's World over there on Facebook. Love you guys. And
thank you guys.
How come you haven't done anything in Spanish, man? Like, is that not, that's not something
I actually have. I did a cover for my dad. And it's a beautiful song. It's called El Columpio by Los Reileros.
Los Reileros.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is
El Columpio is a swing.
Okay.
So in the whole story behind it is life is like a swing.
Okay.
You know, when you go up, it feels good, but when you come down, it can not feel so good.
Sergio, you're a deep motherfucker, man.
You know, and so for I think it was for my dad's, like, what was it, for his 45th birthday or something, I just went in the studio and recorded the Spanish song for him. It wasn't an original, obviously, but yeah. So I have recorded a song in Spanish. It just wasn't mine.
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah. So then you said you may have another one that might come out here shortly. Another song.
Yeah. This one. So this last song that you just heard, I wrote last year, and it's a super deep song for me. I just, long story short, wrote about a woman who basically left me, like, out of the blue. And she came back into my life last year after 3 years of just me wondering what the hell happened. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a good dude. I have things going for me. Like,
yeah, you're not using drugs in the alley.
Yeah, and it all came down to money. You know.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a musician. I'm an artist. It's all about money.
Yeah.
But now, I again reconnected with her 3 years later, and she has 2 kids. She's, kind of going through the whole divorce thing, and basically wanted to get back.
How funny.
And bed you made, it's basically telling, look.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Yeah.
You got to sleep in the bed you made in. You had the chance. You screwed up, and there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, this
it's probably better.
Oh man, I'm so happy. So the other song I'm gonna put out is called "Wish Her Away," and it's a really, really cool tune that I wrote when I was, I think I was like 18. But I knew I was gonna move to California, and I was dating, like, my first love.
Mm-hmm.
And the song is called "Wish Her Away." Basically, like, I got to wish this woman away, no matter how much I love her. Like, I'm young and I want to pursue my dreams.
Yeah. When I get with a woman, I've been with my wife for 10 years. I feel like people that are ultimately not supporting you, even if they're not the same as you, it's just not going to work, man. You know what I mean? Like, even though my wife does a lot of different things than I do, she's not really into the podcast thing, but she knows it makes me happy, So the consistency of me putting this out and her not, like, treating me like shit for it is cool, because I hear a lot, there's a lot of situations where you can take on an endeavor like being a musician, an artist, podcaster, and it's not going to make fucking money. You know what I mean? It's not. But I'm sure you told her, like, look, I'm building this. This isn't, but this is my dream, and I'm going to get there, and
oh yeah. And
Sorry,
Charlie.
Charlie.
Now I have the most amazing woman, and and it's great, man, because my girl does the same exact thing that I do, obviously, where she's a professional musician as well.
Right. So your schedules sync.
Yeah, it's really it's like a breath of fresh air, man. Because in all my past relationships, one of the main things was, oh, babe, let's do this on Saturday. Let's go travel on the weekend. I'm like, weekends are when I work.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then you get the bombardment of questions, like, when you show up on Sunday morning at 4 a.m.
Right.
Like, why are you so late? Who are you hanging out with? Were there girl? Were there blah? It's like, oh my God.
Well, and especially in your line of business, bro, I'm sure you get some fangirls.
Oh yeah,
a bunch of drunk girls, man, at a club. Oh my God, if I don't take you home, I just can't.
Like, can I touch your hair? What do you put in it?
Yeah. But I mean, do you get do you feel like because of the position that you're in, do you get treated differently? Like, when you go to the place and you play a show, like, are you kind of like, do you get, like, weird, people buy stuff for you? Do they buy drinks for you and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. All right. And then, I mean, do you feel like there's a point where it's like, fuck, I just want to be left alone? Like,
yes and no. I mean, I realize that this is the business we're in, and if you want to grow as a business, you have to take these. You have
Yeah.
to you have to entertain their idea of you.
Right.
Does
Well,
that
and
make
then
sense?
yeah, and I would think that at a certain point you have to be like, this is how I am on stage or off. Like it's not an act, right? Like you have to
Oh,
kind of
dude,
prove
no,
that.
I always, and I have no shame in saying this, but I pride myself in being just me,
Yeah.
like, all the time,
Right.
and on stage, I have a great time. I just love having a guitar in my hand, and, I just do my best up there, and stepping off stage. I love to talk to people, but there
Yeah.
are nights, I won't lie. There are nights where it's just like, I just want to get through this night because, I had a long day, or like I have a big day tomorrow,
Yeah.
or.
Yeah. And I'm sure having to pack shit into the weekends is not easy. Like having to do like
True.
4 in the morning and then get up to do a podcast at like 8, right?
Yeah,
You had
yeah.
to
Well,
or something.
there
Yeah.
are times where I've done like, three or four gigs in 24 hours.
Fuck.
Yeah.
No drugs. No drugs.
Yeah, right. So like, you have a day gig on Saturday, and then a gig Saturday night, and then you'll have like a gig next day, like for we do, how do you call it, like when people do the 5K runs and stuff
Yeah.
early in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll provide
Oh,
entertainment
no
for that in
shit.
the morning.
Okay. I've never been
and
to
have
one
a
like
day
that,
gig,
man.
and then do like a night gig. So like literally you can have 5 gigs within
Fuck.
2 days.
So you completely understand the definition of a power nap then.
Oh, dude, I'm all about naps, man. I'm all about naps.
Yeah.
My girl's like, you only get like 5 to 6 hours sleep a night. I'm like, yeah, but I freaking nap like a mofo.
Yeah, you gotta push, man. Sometimes when you want to get stuff done, like I'll try to do podcasts, and it's not convenient for fucking anybody sometimes, So I'm doing one on Friday night, then I may do one Saturday morning, and then another one on Sunday morning, and it's like the kids are like, "Dad, where are you?"
Dad.
Yeah, so
It's okay, bro. Either way, you're doing this Perch of Birds thing, and it's freaking awesome that you're just plowing through it. I commend you for doing what you do.
Thanks, man.
And keeping it
Thanks,
going.
man.
Like you're going up. Like you didn't have this setup last time I was
didn't.
here. So
I had one mic for 2
moving on
people.
up. Moving on up. That's
Yeah,
what it's about.
And listen to the rest of our episodes, if you will. And Sergio's our very first one, and he's actually one of our top downloaded episodes. A lot of people really like to hear your story, man.
Oh,
I don't know if
cool. I
could ever-
appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think you have like almost 250 downloads, something like that. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you got to think that was an hour each, so 250 hours of people listening to us, and we're international now. You're in Switzerland, you're in Ireland, you're in
Very cool.
Taiwan, Philippines. Some people down in Argentina on the last podcast. Thank you guys for jumping in Argentina.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Yes. Sí. You helped us launch, and I hope that with this exclusive launch of your music, this opens a door. Maybe somebody hits you up for like a record deal.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's just
Would you do it? Somebody hit you up with a record deal?
it depends what it all entails.
What would you do with $1 million, Sergio?
What would I do with $1 million? Well, at this point in my life, let's just say I don't want my parents to work another minute.
Fucking A. That's what I told my mom. I said, I can't wait till you're not working.
Yeah,
I'll pay for you, mom.
It's all family first, man. I mean, I would just, set it up. What would I do with $1 million? I would go to my mentors and say, what do I do with this?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to help
it
my
back.
family, and I want to continue to skyrocket. What do I do with this $1 million? That's what I would do. Is I would take it to my mentors and ask them.
Yeah, and chop it up.
And whatever
correctly.
they say, I would do.
Right. People that always know more, man. That's
Yeah.
for sure. All right, man. Well, I think this is about everything on this
Yeah.
one. I think we covered
Yeah,
all the
appreciate
different
you, man.
topics. Do you have what's the very next shows that are coming out? Anything that I can, let's give it about a 3-week lead time. Do you have anything coming up that we can announce?
Yeah, you know what? I play shows every week. So if anybody's interested, if you go on SergioGutierrezmusic.com, click on schedule. I always have an updated schedule on where I'll be on a weekly basis. So.
Sweet. And then, of course, you're at facebook.com at Sergio Gutierrez, right?
So it's actually facebook.com/Sergio's Fine Art. So I know it can be a little bit confusing because I do the music and art. And with that, it's perfect because my Instagram is actually Sergio's Art and Music.
Nice. Okay.
So that kind of plugs them
What
both
happened to
in.
Guitar Junkie? That's Snapchat.
Oh yeah, Snapchat is
Okay,
Guitar Junkie.
okay. My bad. I was just trying to get them all out there.
GITARJUNKWE is my Snapchat, and I do mostly like music and art and positivity kind of stuff, and of course your random, hey guys, I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, so it adds, man, to your mix, man. You got to have that mix when you're coming out on social media. So we can find you on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter.
No Twitter, but
You doing the
last
tweets?
night, in fact, I'm gonna actually start. I don't know if you heard it. You probably have of Twitch. IRL.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start that actually, and I'm gonna start doing paintings like when I'm at home painting for clients
on Twitch.
on Twitch.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing like music and stuff too. So
Okay.
literally, I heard of this last night.
Really?
Yeah.
So I got a couple of cats that I was trying to get on. Oh man, I can't remember his name now. You went to school with him. He's in your class. They do the lifting now. They're at the.
Oh, Simon, I was with him. That's the one who told me about it.
Yeah. Okay, so Simon, he's getting paid to do Twitch streaming to play the game. I don't know what they.
Yeah,
play.
so he's gonna. So I was. That's so funny you bring him up because he's the one who told me about it. I hung out with him last night. Simon Otero. They have a YouTube Masthetics. They're powerlifters. Great guys.
Opening
Simon
a
and
gym
Garrett.
soon. Iron Legion, right?
I believe so. I believe
called.
that's what it's called. But yeah, so he started this Twitch to get followers. He's playing games on it now, but when they come out with the gym, they're going to do live streaming of their workouts because a lot of their powerlifting buds, they do that same thing. And people who are really interested on how these guys train in real time.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and that's what's cool about the internet. You can see this in real time, like you're there.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well,
it's
like
cool.
right now.
I know. It's amazing.
So, do you know a cat
amazing.
named Freddie Contreras? Freddie Contreras. That's his name.
That sounds familiar.
So I saw a video of him lifting 630 pounds on Facebook, deadlifting
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's nothing. No, but no, he's a tank, man, and I have him scheduled for April 1st, man. We're gonna put a podcast on with him. So I didn't know that was as much of a thing, and I like to kind of have some stuff. Like I was talking to Sergio, and he tells me that Twitch actually does this.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be on Twitch doing your paintings.
So ask him about Ben Rice. I was watching Ben Rice last night, and it's crazy. Like he was doing like he was deadlifting he had this whole like schedule written out of what he was going to do.
Oh, okay.
And it had like a little tab, like a little arrow that said, this is what's next. And when we clicked on him, it was like Ben Rice, 615 pounds for 5.
Fuck.
3 sets of that. I'm like,
yeah.
650, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Dude, that's like 3 of me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So
that's cool. So you're going to be on Twitch there, and then of course you've got your websites, and I think we've covered all of the places that we can find any of your stuff, man. I think the best thing to do would be to check Sergio out live, though. I have yet to. It's going to happen, man. I want to fly down there just to go and see a show. And
let's do it, man. I play every week. Everybody's like, are you playing this week? I'm like, dude, I play every week.
Every week.
It's my job.
You're a working musician, dog.
Yeah, and now I got a wireless for my guitar, so I can.
I saw that shit. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be running around like a madman, be 10 times more entertaining than I ever have been in my life. So
it's just like Dimebag was doing in the Pantera home videos when he's walking around with the little speaker. Of course, they didn't have wireless like that back then, but he'd walk around like downtown New York just jamming out, bro. People had no idea who he was, and I'm like, man, that's gonna be Sergio soon. You're gonna be doing the home videos, and then you're gonna blow up, and later on be like, that's right, he's walking around.
Oh my god. Yeah, right on.
Right on, man. Well, thanks for coming out. I think this about wraps up Perch Your Birds episode. Blah 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 blah. I don't know how. I think it's 19 or 20. I never can keep track. Like I'll say it and then.
Hey, that's not necessarily a bad thing,
right? Yeah, I got too many coming up, but yeah. So check out Sergio's stuff, and thank you guys for listening to a Perch Your Birds. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Thank you guys.